Hi, I'm Sofia Coppola, and this is my career in 4 minutes. I wasn't planning on making a movie or being a director, but I loved this book, Virgin Suicides, when I read it, and then I heard some people were making a movie out of it and how they were doing it, and I thought, I hope they don't do this, I hope they do this, and I just felt so protective of it that I kept thinking about how I would make it as a movie, and so I started working on a screenplay just as an exercise to see, like, how do you adapt a book, and then I got more and more into it, and eventually somehow convinced the producers to look at my script, and I got to make the film. But it was really out of feeling protective for the book, and I feel like that book made me want to be a director. I was really surprised that so many people connected with it, because when I was writing it, I was really worried that it was just this really indulgent, personal story. It was the most personal thing I'd done, and I was really surprised that when people come up and tell me that they are into it, I appreciate it, but I was surprised. And that was really coming from, I spent a lot of time in Tokyo and wanted to do something about my experiences there, and that was the starting point on that. I was such a fan of Bill Murray, so the fact that he lived up to my hopes of how he would be as a person. He was really, just the smartest, funniest, most charming person to be with, and really fun to help make that movie. I remember seeing her as a movie, I remember seeing her in a movie when she was young called Manny and Lo, when she was like 12 or something, and I was struck by her, so it was kind of fun to rediscover her as an adult, and I thought she brought so much to the movie. I haven't watched it for a while. I'll see like a little clip on TV or something, and it just reminds me of that time. But I appreciate I think the setting and the costumes were beautiful, and I have fondness for it, but I think I haven't really watched it all the way through. Maybe a little more time has passed, but I have a fondness for it. It was really mixed, but I think some journalists tried to make it more of a scandal than it really was. So it got a lot of people really loved it, and some people hated it, and I think that's the best thing. If I'd rather have that than something that's just sort of mediocre. So I think it's good to have reactions, and I knew that kid from California, from California coming in and making a movie about Marie Antoinette, it's gonna be, it's kind of obnoxious. So I'm aware of that. After Marie Antoinette, I was living in France, and I kind of took a little break. I had my first child and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I met Harris Savides, the cinematographer, doing a commercial, and we were talking about filmmaking and how simply you could do a movie. I think after Marie Antoinette was so involved in such a huge production that I wanted to go back to doing something more simple along the lines of Lost in Translation with just a few characters, and so I was thinking about how to do something more simple, and it was about things I was thinking about after having a kid, and about being a parent, and then also kind of the brewing and the culture of this, about being famous and celebrity culture was kind of, I was thinking about that as I was seeing that kind of grow in the culture, which then I think I continued with on Bling Ring. That was very exciting, exotic location to shoot in Paris's real house, and I'd heard about how she had a nightclub room, and when I saw it, I couldn't have imagined something, her world as much like that, and it was really fun to meet her. I really liked her, and she was really helpful, and much kind of cooler, more self-aware than you would expect. Yeah, I feel like I've learned everything about filmmaking from just, spending all my life growing up on my dad's sets. It was always an exciting place to go, so I would always want to go after school, or in summer I'd spend all my time on set, and there was always so much, some exciting things going on, and it's hard to say. I feel like everything I learned about how to make films was from, I guess, watching my dad or talking to people that he worked with. I wasn't really aware of it at the time, but now when I'm on a set, it's a familiar, comfortable environment, and my dad definitely talked about film and what he thought was important to think about.
I want to lead a country one day, for all I know.